Welcome to Acumentis Acumen, the property podcast that delivers expert insights and answers to your burning industry questions. Join our property valuers monthly as they distill their wisdom into each episode. It's your compass in the ever-evolving real estate world. Coffee at the ready? Let's start on the latest episode.
Welcome to Acumentis Acumen episode 3. Today we'll be talking about property valuations for self-managed super fund and the challenges faced by accountants and super fund managers. I'll be your host. My name is Laura Taylor and I'm National Director of Risk and Performance. And today I am joined by 3 of our resident experts in self-managed super fund valuations. Firstly, we've got Nathan King, who's our National Director of Advisory. We have Mark Robins, who is State Director in South Australia, and Wayne Airey, who is an Associate Director in our Sunshine Coast office. So thank you for all participating in today's session and for your contributions. I'm going to start with a question for Mark. So Mark, you're in the hot seat. First up, what are the key challenges faced by accountants and fund managers in their annual SMSF reporting relating to property appraisals?
Hi, Laura, and thank you for the question. Look, the feedback we've had from accountants and auditors that we've been working with is effectively getting an accurate and reliable assessment has been hard. The fund owners generally are not organised in this regard and historically may have self-reported or used a local agent or a third-party AVM or something along those lines. And the result of that is generally that the auditors have to push back on the self-managed super fund consultants because the reports they're getting just really don't meet the minimum requirements and need rework. And that really has been a result of a range of different things, but effectively one of the challenges that these consultants have told us is that just finding a reliable supplier to undertake the annual asset values has been hard. Generally, they might have a local person that helps them with their residential property, but that person's not qualified to do commercial, or they may only work in one specific area and the client may have multiple holdings across multiple states. They really need a one-stop shop, and I believe Acumentis, with our 45 offices and 300 professional staff, can be that solution.
Excellent. So in terms of the compliance, I suppose, of these SMSF reports, why is substantial market sales and rental evidence crucial for SMSF property valuations for that ATO compliance?
Yeah, okay. So ultimately, it's all about compliance, really, isn't it? And the ATO do have their specific guidance notes, which you can find online, effectively telling us what needs to include for it to be compliant. The most crucial thing really is that the report or the assessment be objective, accurate and supported by market evidence. In other words, I want to see some sort of logic to value. What methodology have you used to get to the figure? How have you got to that assessment? If you're using direct comparison, which we generally do, they want to see exactly what sales and market evidence that you've considered. And really, our reports do clearly depict that, so there's generally no issue with compliance.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. Wayne, I'm going to throw to you now a couple of questions, I suppose, from the valuer's perspective on the ground. How does Acumentis address the challenges with the SMSF valuation products?
Well, from my experience, I feel like one of the main challenges also, in addition to what Mark was touching on, is clients with property portfolios, but also with a diverse range of property investments ranging from retail to industrial, along with agribusiness properties, but then also across various locations across the state and nationally. Having that one firm like Acumentis, we can service their needs quite easily with our self-managed super fund product. Which I believe is best placed in the market to service our clients' portfolio needs. And clients requiring these self-managed super fund valuations have confidence in us for the following reasons. National coverage with offices in metro and regional locations. I actually don't know of any areas we don't cover. Local expertise and consistent reporting with similar data analysis across the country. It's cost effective and efficient. Our product for self-managed super fund reporting has been developed with auditors, so it is exactly what they need. I've completed a lot of reports for self-managed super fund clients over the years and have never had any issues or queries. I forgot to mention our most popular product is on a desktop basis, we just make the process so easy for our clients, and our product is just perfect for them.
Wayne, what sort of feedback have you and the team been receiving from the professionals who are utilising the services of Acumentis for their SMSF needs?
I guess we sort of, in terms of the feedback, everything's managed so well from the very first inquiry, which is it's via the website or direct phone call from the client to the office, and then everything is pretty much nailed from the get-go. We discuss the property, and then it comes and the specific attributes, the cash flow natures of it, and they get a really good feel that we know what we're doing. We discuss the product at the same time, and it's just sort of just working with them, so we are sort of just making sure we're catering for their needs. It usually comes down to price. The desktop product is generally the best option for them. We say the price, the client is usually, that is great. Now, how long will it take? I usually say a couple of days for commercial. If it is something straightforward, the usual response is that's great or perfect, let's go ahead. I found these they aren't really generally that urgent, so we can talk about timing. If we can say 5 days, that's fine. An appropriate turnaround time is easy to discuss with the clients.
So Nathan, I'm going to throw to you now as National Director of Advisory. What sort of future trends are you seeing in the SMSF space, given the regulatory changes that we're all aware of and the technology advancements that we're seeing?
Thanks, Laura. Well, look, there's probably a couple of levels to that, I guess. Firstly, the trends that we're seeing in the general market. We're seeing a lot more volatility and material change in the market. So we've gone through the pandemic, we've got obviously natural disasters, we've got global events, and we've got high rates of inflation. All these factors really do impact the property market, and that's where the ATO guideline is really, has there been a material change in the past 12 months? Is the valuation that you've had 2 years ago still relevant today? I would say the answer to that is no. But if a self-managed super fund chooses to use that valuation, they need to justify why that is still relevant. So I think that trend will continue in the property market, where we've got some volatility, and that's why we're seeing more and more clients go and prefer the annual update reports that we provide compared to, say, the traditional let's get a valuation done every 3 years, because it just creates, again, a whole lot of work, rework, justification as to why that's still relevant. The other bit of legislation changes that everyone is probably aware of is the introduction of the new tax rate for your assets held in your self-managed super fund at the $3 million threshold. That comes into effect in 2025. So look, over the past 3 years when we've been producing this service and this product, we've seen the work grow and a lot more scrutiny from the auditors in relation to compliance to the ATO guidelines. I think that will increase as we head towards that 2025 and that new legislation coming into effect. So yeah, in relation to that, there's a couple of moving parts, I guess, there where it really does make a lot of sense to get that reviewed every year. In relation to technology, I guess what we've done at Acumentis, we have spoken to a lot of accountants and auditors. We've actually worked with auditors to build a sort of portal online solution to make sure that we capture all the information that we require, and also to make sure that we can provide a fully compliant report to the ATO guidelines. All our valuers across all our offices in Australia use the same platform. We've got a national database of market evidence, so that enables us to really produce these reports in a timely fashion as well.
Excellent. So Nathan, any key takeaways for anyone listening to the podcast today in this SMSF space? I suppose just a few quick points from you.
Thanks, Laura. Well, look, I guess we see our role in this space to basically remove the pain points that we were seeing when we came into this area of valuation, and that's getting a valuation that's not compliant actually creates time for your accountant, time for your auditor, so everybody in the process, it is a bit painful. So we make sure we've got a compliant report, and we make sure that people can easily interact with us, as it's been mentioned with Wayne and Mark. We've got offices all across the country, but we've also got a single point where clients can instruct us to proceed, and it doesn't matter where that valuation is across Australia or what type of asset class that property is. We can basically solve your problems and basically get those reports done efficiently and also cost effectively.
Excellent. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Wayne, for your contribution to today's conversation. For any of our listeners, I just wanted to direct you to acumentis.com.au/SMSF for any more information on what we've been discussing today, or to engage Acumentis in undertaking an SMSF valuation on your behalf. So thank you all for joining in the Acumentis Acumen podcast, episode 3.
Thanks for dropping by and listening to this episode of Acumentis Acumen. Tune into next month's podcast for another topical discussion, and be sure to submit your questions below. Like and subscribe to catch our next episode of Acumentis Acumen. See you then!